Hey everybody, Ronnie George here, taking a little stroll. I wanted to share a couple thoughts with you. When it comes to buying or selling real estate or even working with specific clients, you always want to work with somebody that you know, like, and trust. If you're in sales, you know that. It's extremely important to work with a client or with an agent that you actually trust. And there's a couple reasons why. Because let's just say, for instance, if I'm going to buy a home, and the real estate agent, I don't know, I don't trust them, I don't really like them, but I want the home. So I sacrifice those things and I choose to work with them just because. What's gonna end up happening is every little thing that's gonna go wrong, or every little uncertainty that I have, I'm gonna question what that real estate agent does, why they do it, how I thought they should have done it differently, or how I could have done it better. I'm gonna question those things constantly. And all that's gonna do is create animosity, because you might have a real estate agent that has an ego out of this world and doesn't wanna hear what you have to say. Or you might find a real estate agent that listens to every single thing that you say and takes your advice and doesn't even do what they're supposed to do. So it causes this conflict. Same thing with the real estate agent. A lot of times, people will go and pick a deal and they'll work with a buyer or they'll work with a seller, even though they know that they don't really like that client. They really shouldn't work with that client. They can't represent them to the fullest. They can't really do a good job, but they only take the sale just because of the fact, well, they want the sale. So that happens a lot with sales, and all I can do is encourage you not to do something like that. You always want to identify your ideal client, and the reason of that is because of this. You want to work with people that you know, that you like, and you trust, for the very simple reason that you are going to always put their best interest before your own. You're actually going to care about what happens to the person. If something positive goes on with the deal, if something negative happens in the deal, you're actually going to care about it. You're not going to just be upset or be aggravated and not really put any energy into it. So for those out there that don't know how to pick an ideal person to work with, whether it's a client, whether it's an agent, it really comes down to the questions that you ask them. It comes down to identifying what it is that you want this agent to be able to do for you, whether it's negotiate the best deal, find you the best deal, answer questions that pertain to your situation, because a lot of people have awkward situations. A lot of people have situations that are very confusing. They might have a home they need to sell, that they have to make a certain amount of money, and they might need to work with a real estate agent that knows exactly how to do those type of things. And if they don't have an agent that knows how to do those things, then, well, they don't need to work with that agent. So you're gonna want to pre-screen your agents as well as your clients before you ever agree to hire them or work with them. So I'd recommend this. Take at least 3 or 4 questions that are really, really important to you. Say, for instance, if you have a home to sell, you're gonna wanna ask, how are you gonna market my home? What are you gonna do that's better than everybody else to actually get my home sold? And why should I pick you to work with? Why do you feel that you're the best real estate agent to sell my home over anybody else? Then you're going to put them on the spot. You're going to say, okay, you're going to do all of this and all of that and all of these things, but what if it doesn't work? What if 30 days go by? What if 45 days go by and all these things that you said you're going to do, you don't actually do, or none of them work? So then what are you going to do? You, as a client, you want to make sure that you have a way out of that contract. You want to make sure, I'm going to go ahead and take a seat. You want to make sure that if you hire an agent and they promise you the world, that they're going to deliver all these things to you, that they can actually deliver on those promises. So make sure that you set that precedence up front. You as a buyer and you as a seller, you actually have all the control in the world. Like, you don't have to work with an agent just because they send you properties, or just because they're in an open house, or just because you interviewed with them. That's what a lot of people get themselves into trouble with in the South, is because they feel obligated. They feel obligated to work with someone just because they did some simple task. Like, all we're doing is answering emails, calling you back, staying in touch with you. That doesn't mean that you have to hire us. I mean, it would be great for the agent, but a lot of people give away their power and give away their strength as a buyer and seller. So that's why I make videos like this, to to let you know that you actually have a lot of strength. You have the power and you have control, that you can hire and fire whoever you want. Like if someone hires me and I tell them I'm going to do all these things and I can't do it, I'll be the first one to fire myself. Like, I'm not going to continue forward with something and just stick a sign in a yard and not get a home sold, or make all these promises that I'm not going to deliver on, because if I don't deliver on it, that's my word, and I'm going to fire myself and I'm going to let them out of a contract if something is not going the way that I told them it would. So just know that when you go into deals, just know that you have the power, you have control. And if you go to workwithronnie.com, I have a ton of videos that explain exactly how to interview agents before you hire them, before you go ahead and commit to somebody. You want to make sure that you pre-screen the agent that you work with. You know, whether it comes to buying or selling. Like, if you're working with an agent to buy a home, you want to ask them, how many homes have you sold? You know, how long have you been in the industry? What's the most difficult and challenging, you know, scenario and situation that you've been in, and how did you solve it? Like, you want to ask these things because you want to put this agent on the spot. You want to make sure that they can handle the pressure. But 8 times out of 10, let's say, most people don't challenge real estate agents. Most people say, oh, well, they're nice. Oh, well, they're friendly. Oh, well, they seem sweet. I'm going to hire them. Sweet, kind, and friendly doesn't put you in the best position that you need when it comes to buying or selling a home. I'm sorry to tell you this, but you need someone who's aggressive. You need someone who's going to take control and represent you. Like, when times get tough and times get difficult, you need to make sure that you have someone that you know that you can count on, that you can be confident in. You don't hire an agent because they're sweet, kind, and friendly. You hire an agent on the off chance that if shit gets difficult, like, you have someone in your corner to represent you. So just make sure that when it comes time to interview people, you hire the best person that represents you. You don't hire the person that is sweet, kind, friendly, and just follows up. Like, that's just my opinion on the matter. You can hire them for whatever. I'm just giving you some advice that I've seen constantly, because I constantly get calls from buyers and sellers, well, mainly sellers, that listed their home with someone else and was like, God, we made the wrong decision. I can't wait till this contract expires so we can list with you. And it's frustrating because I still want to help them out, but they made a commitment with another agent and I can't really help them out. So just save yourself that trouble, and make sure that if you're going to hire someone, you know why you're hiring them, what you want them to accomplish, and how you want them to accomplish it. Whether it's, you know, a difficult situation, a certain deal you want, a certain home you want, a certain area you want. Know these things going into the deal. And if you go to workwithronnie.com, it gives you the option to get some of those questions that you can ask those agents, as well as get some videos that show you exactly how to ask the agents these things, and some of the answers that they should be answering for you. I have some downloads on there that tell you exactly what answers you should be receiving back. And if you don't receive them back, then you know that, well, they didn't really meet your standards. It's kind of like you're a boss and they're applying for a position at a job. So take it like that. Take it like you're the employer and they're the employee. You get to choose who you hire and who you fire. So I hope this has been helpful. If it is, go ahead and comment below. You know, I'd love to hear your feedback. I'm going to be doing a ton of videos like this. So you're probably going to see me every day. So I'd rather talk about content that you want to know about. And if you go to workwithronnie.com, you can subscribe to things like this so I can keep you on an email list, give you updated information, send you YouTube links to the latest videos, whatever it is. Just stay in touch. All I want to do is answer all your questions. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a good rest of the evening.